Man, oh man, oh man. I mean, you haven't even had the tariffs go into full effect. And already Mexico's like, no, wait, we're here to help. That's what we're here to do. It's an incredible story of what Mexico did. But I want to say for the record that, if you listen to my morning show, we called this one. There was no doubt that a war was brewing, a legit war. So Mexico is going to take the first steps to stopping that. My name is Tony Katz. The show is Tony Katz Today. The radio show is about to begin, and we're going to get to it.
Fox News Alert, and the breaking news of the day is on tariffs. And we just have word that the Mexican president spoke to Donald Trump, and they are going to pause the tariffs on Mexico for 1 month. And Jackie Heinrich is standing by at the White House with more on this development. Hi, Jackie.
Good morning, Dana. Yeah, that was pretty short-lived. The president spoke with Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum, the two sides agreeing to pump the brakes on the tariffs and then retaliatory tariffs that Mexico promised for the period of a month while they work out the terms of an agreement. The Mexican president just posted some of the details. Mexico is going to immediately send 10,000 members of the National Guard to prevent drug trafficking from Mexico to the United States, particularly fentanyl. Also, she says the U.S. is going to work with Mexico to prevent the trafficking of high-powered weapons to Mexico, something that Mexico hit back at when President Trump was threatening these tariffs was they were calling on the U.S. to curb the flow of guns from the U.S. down to the cartels.
Well, we did that when we got rid of Barack Obama in Operation Fast and Furious, when he allowed the guns to go into Mexico and then just waved goodbye. Tony Katz Today. What are you doing, everybody? Find everything going on at TonyKatz.com. Good Lord. That is something else right there. The post coming from President Trump, very, very clear that, hey, I'm always up for a deal. Remember the first rules of Trumpism. The first rule is Trump wins, and the second rule is a deal can always be made as long as it adheres to the first rule of Trumpism. Here is the post. I just spoke with President Claudia Sheinbaum of Mexico. It was a very friendly conversation wherein she agreed to immediately supply 10,000 Mexican soldiers on the border separating Mexico and the United States. These soldiers will be specifically designated to stop the flow of fentanyl and illegal migrants into our country. We further agreed to immediately pause the anticipated tariffs for a 1-month period, during which we will have negotiations headed by Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Secretary of Treasury Scott Bessent, and Secretary of Commerce Howard Lutnick, and high-level representatives of Mexico. I look forward to participating in those negotiations with President Sheinbaum as we attempt to achieve a deal between our two countries. This is going to make every Trump supporter say, well, I guess tariffs work. Tariffs are taxes. And I will later will speak to Dr. Matt Will, economist at the University of Indianapolis, and break down how those work. The economics being different than the political. As for why this has taken place, why these tariffs on Mexico, this is exactly it. The idea of you promised. President Trump ran on a series of promises, and what does he have to do? He has to come through on those promises. He has to deliver. So that's what we're seeing. You say you were going to get tough on fentanyl. You sign the Lake and Riley Act. You're going to get tough on the border. And what we've seen is Mexico not be tough. Certainly, Mexico has not been a friend. It has not been an ally. It has not been a buddy or a pal or anything else. They have done us wrong. I say this without any hesitation. AMLO, the previous president, Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador, AMLO, AMLO, that's why they called him AMLO, was I think, horrific to us. Sure, when things got a little hot for him, he would pretend to deliver. But in the main, where's been the delivery? Mexico does not handle the cartels. Mexico does not handle its own culture. I have been discussing this subject for so long that a decade plus ago on Twitter, I once described Mexican culture as failing, and people were screaming, "How dare you? These are beautiful people." I'm like, I'm talking politics. Is there any question that politically Mexico is an unmitigated disaster, a bribery culture that cannot figure out how to grow and thrive? There is no question here. None. Why would anybody even think of challenging me on this subject? It's not me. It's the reality on the ground, and honest people understand this. Well, the cartels really do believe that they're in charge. And I was discussing this from the recent conversation of cartels feeling what's the word I'm looking for? Empowered, emboldened, however you want to say it, to utilize drones to attack Border Patrol. If that's the case, how is this not war? This was my argument. This was my entire question. If this is the case, how is it not a war? And if that's the case, how are you going to be president of the United States and not address this, not deal with this, not turn to Congress and say, you see this neighbor of ours, this Mexico? Well, this ain't going to work anymore. No. These are not friends. No. We have to change the entirety of the conversation. We have to change the entirety of the philosophy. We have to change how we act with them, how we deal with them, how we work with them. And if that means getting physical, so be it. I said the words. This has to be a declaration of war if the cartels are going to be able to move with impunity because Mexico refuses to do its job as a nation. This comes from the fact that it's a broken nation. They have no will. You're going to hear this again and again and again. The willingness. You have to have the willpower to do things. And Trump has got the will. You know what people are? They're attracted to it. They're like, thank goodness. They have said it to themselves. They believe it for themselves. And now they've got somebody elected who can go about doing it and has brought in other people who also have that will. Hot damn, get it done. Tariffs or taxes. And I don't like all these tariffs. I've said it before. I understand the tactic. And if you've heard me, and I have said against China, I have no issues whatsoever. China needs to be broken, which will get us into the conversation about the Panama Canal, the huge success that Marco Rubio just had there, which is not just a success for America. It's a success for the globe. Massive, massive victory, and certainly could not have taken place at all under Kamala Harris. Could not have happened. No way, no how, no chance, never ever. Hilarious indeed. By the way, has anybody seen Joe Biden? Is there any conversation about where Joe is or what he's doing or how much he's napping? No, zero, nothing. Massive win in Panama. If you want to talk about tariffs against Mexico, well, this illegal immigration issue from the southern border, massive. The illegal immigration issue is less from Canada, but it does exist. And we have seen from Swanton sector, which is that Vermont, New York area and others, we're starting to see an increase. You're seeing Chinese nationals coming. And yes, Canada needs to do something about this. And I don't mind pressuring Canada into doing more about this. But I think 25% without explaining it fully, man, the anger you're getting from some Canadians, can't blame them at all. And no, I think that I would not have gone down this route with Canada. I think you could have done other things. I think you could have moved in 7 different ways that don't bring this. I think for Trump, and I'll get more into this, that you know, it's a promises made, promises kept kind of thing. He was going to lower the boom. He was going to get the changes. He was going to do these things. He said he would, and he's doing it. So I understanding that tariffs are taxes. I have different views depending on the nation. Tariff is also tactic. When it comes to Mexico, what exactly was left for us to do? Simply allow them to act with impunity, simply allow them to traffic people through their nation to the United States, which is what's been happening. How else in the world do people get through? They have to be allowed in. Mexico can't handle their problems, so we're not allowed to handle our problems. We have to somehow take it. This is a very odd, strange thing. And so the will to say no is what we have seen here. I like that. Doesn't mean I like everything in all places. This I have no issue with, because I would argue with anybody that the tariff situation, utilizing the tactic against Mexico, has a long and involved history of Mexico failing us. Canada, I don't think it's like that. And so that's why the 25% tariff against Canadian goods is just so, I'd still argue unnecessary. Because I'm not quite sure what else you would get them to do with this, since you're going to damage the economy of Canada so greatly because of it. I do think there was other ways and better ways, and it may still come. Because we'll notice that these tariffs aren't really getting implemented until tomorrow, when they were going to get implemented over the weekend, giving everybody a chance to say, hey, he's serious. You better say this or do that so he gets the win, because the win is everything. The first rule of Trumpism is Trump wins. The second rule of Trumpism is a deal can always be made as long as it adheres to the first rule of Trumpism. Thus, what we're seeing out of Mexico. It's good. It's very, very good. Now, it's only good if it actually works, if it stems the tide. And I do not know how that's going to happen without a full-on joint assault against the cartels and breaking them in two. And that's going to get bloody. That's going to get ugly. The cartels are, of course, well-funded. Of course, they've got technology, and they can work under rules that maybe as a nation, you can't. That would also bring us to the letters of marque and reprisal, but let's save that just for a moment. If Mexico and the United States are going to have a relationship, there cannot be this middle cancer. That middle cancer is the cartels. When the decision got made, when the announcement got made about this deal with Mexico, the markets, which were down 400, 500 points, immediately jumped back up, and they were only down like 40 or 50 points. I mean, it was boom. You know, where they're going to end, I mean, they're going to slide back down a little bit more. People will be like, well, that's better. We've got a 1 month reprieve on Mexico for the tariffs, but you still got a tariffs on Canada. You're still going to have more tariffs on China. You're still affecting the global economy. We are the markets, after all. We're going to react to this news. A 1 month reprieve on Mexico is only a 1 month reprieve. It doesn't solve anything for us as the market. Yes, the markets are going to feel it. And yes, our 401ks are going to feel it. And this is where President Trump has not done the job. He hasn't done the job of explaining to Americans that there is going to be pain. Now, he said it a little bit, just a little bit, last night.
They have short term, a little pain, and people understand that. But long term, the United States has been ripped off by virtually every country in the world. We have deficits with almost every country. Not every country, but almost.
He needs to explain why it's happening and what it means and what it's going to mean for the future. Now, you've heard me say this before. I've made this argument before. He hasn't done it. He hasn't done it, and he needs to. Because otherwise, what people are going to see are things more expensive in a store, and they're going to see their investments going down, and they're going to be like, we could have just had Biden. They'll cheer the other things, but they're going to be like, what the heck over here? I think Trump needs to sit down and explain it. Here's what we're doing, and here's why, and here's how it's going to affect you. And if we do it right, here's how it's going to benefit you. And I do think he'll get people to his side. But there are people who argue that you're going to tell people they're going to feel pain. What are you, crazy? That's insane. That's ridiculous. I argue that people are willing to they're willing to accept the hardship if they feel like they're part of something for the better, for the greater good, for their kids. And Trump would be well advised to make sure people understand what it is that we're doing and what these sacrifices are for, because yes, these are absolutely economic sacrifices. This is real. So he should sell it like that. And selling it in this case means a total honesty. Yes, you're going to pay more. But when this is done, here's how your life and your kid's life is going to be better. And very much so, I believe Americans will go, okay, I'm in. And once you've got buy-in, man, you can do some things. I'm Tony Katz. This is Tony Katz Today. Guys, good to be with you. Okay, I just realized I'm not wearing the right t-shirt here. I never dress like this. I don't wear a t-shirt under like I wear a t-shirt, right? But meant for the dress shirt, not that. And so I feel ridiculous. How are you? Good to be with you. I wanted to point that out. Not that you were noticing. It's okay. I know what you were staring at. You're not wrong. A lot to get to. Not chaos theater. Sorry, this is not the correct argument, Hal. Trump absolutely ran on solving problems on the border with fentanyl, with illegal immigration. It's not chaos theater. It is what he ran on, and it is him making moves on it. Now, they didn't run on inflicting hardship on already struggling Americans. This much, you could argue, is accurate, which is why I think he needs to make the statement. But I've been saying this now for a long time. So this is not new to me. As for Ontario, canceling a $100 million Starlink contract. If the Canadians want to use Chinese products, they're more than welcome to, except Canada has already said no to Huawei. So no. This doesn't mean running into the arms of China, nor does it mean that they will follow through. Some statement doesn't mean that they're going to follow through. I mean, Trump said we were applying tariffs on Mexico, and then all of a sudden, well, we've got a 1-month reprieve. So, if you want to make knee-jerk reactions, Hal, you statements, you're more than welcome to, but it doesn't make them accurate. Just doesn't. Let me see what I've got next here. Cue some things up for you guys. Don't forget on the Twittix at Tony Katz and TonyKatz.com. We've got everything else. Let me see what I got here. Oh, good Lord, the DNC. Oh, good Lord, the DNC. Did you see their elections? Absolutely, positively surreal. All right, I've got Alicia Keys talking about DEI not being a threat. Let me see. Let me play this for you. Let me see what I can grab here. This is Gerald Nadler.
After over 480 days of violence and tens of thousands of casualties, civilian casualties, I am cautiously optimistic about the ceasefire deal that's in place to end the fighting and finally allow the release of the hostages. As you know, the ceasefire is occurring in 3 stages, by the end of which we are due to have
I don't want to listen to that.
about 7 million Arabs or Palestinians. Either you have a 1-state solution or a 2-state solution. About 7 million Jews and a solution possible. There are between the Mediterranean.
Yep, I hear you.
There are between the Mediterranean is feasible. Well, it's clearly feasible. Can occur unless people believe that a 2-state solution is feasible.
2-state solution. Do you know how insane you have to be to think that? how much of the American left you have to be to believe this idea of a two-state solution. Cubans for Trump just said hello. Cubans for Trump there, producer Landon. I know we're going multicultural here. You have to be delusional at this stage of the game to think that there's going to be a two-state solution. Talking about Israel, talking about the Palestinians, more hostages freed, and I've got some stories to get to. Tony Katz today. Great to be with you. But the only people engaged in this conversation about two-state solution are progressives. Now, sadly, that often means progressive Jews. My people. Don't ask me. I don't know. I don't know what they're thinking. I don't know why they're thinking it. No clue at all. But they do, and they are. Did I say hello, Tony Katz? Tony Katz today? That's me. Hey, whatever. Live stream's happening. Stop by. Say hello. So Gerald Nadler, when he's not, waddling off stage because he may have done something in his pantaloons. Look, the video's out there, and I'm going to leave that for others. I'm just going to leave that right there. Thank you very much. Gerald Nadler is at an event, and he is discussing the hostage deal, which some more hostages were released, and including an American, which I'm thrilled by, and the idea of a two-state solution.
There are between the Mediterranean and the Jordan about 7 million Jews and about 7 million Arabs or Palestinians. Either you have a one-state solution or a two-state solution. A one-state solution gives you two choices. You give the Palestinians the vote along with the Jews, in which case the Zionist dream of 2,000 years of an independent Jewish state goes up in smoke. Or you don't give them the vote, in which case you have an apartheid state, and that is obnoxious and unacceptable. So
you don't have an apartheid state now. Only a progressive says this. Nobody who has done any studying, any research, any looking says this. This is the problem. And you will see this more and more from the political left. The inability to be honest with themselves and with their own party. And where was this best seen this weekend as the Democratic National Committee chose its new leadership? By the way, they picked two white guys, which, all right, I'm wrong. Gavin Newsom can run for president now. I said there's no way Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, can run for president. He is a white guy. They're not going to nominate a white guy. Then I saw what they did in choosing their new leadership, and I'm like, well, son of a gun, I guess you can run as a white guy and win. You have to hear it to believe it, how broken these people are, how lost to time they are, how incapable they are. And why is this? Why can't they recognize that they've made a mistake and change course? Because they can't. We discussed this when it was MSNBC in the days after the election. You're like, they're going to keep doing the same thing. They're really going to keep doing the same exact thing. Yes. Yes, they are. They cannot help themselves. They cannot stop themselves, because to stop would be to admit to being wrong. And everything collapses at that moment. I have got that story for you. You won't believe it. You know they elected David Hogg to be their vice chair. Parkland High School, that guy, yeah. He's now running the DNC. This is Tony Katz today. looking for some video, guys. Just give me 1 second here. That's not it. DNC. Come on. Really? You don't have it? You don't have it in here like that? No, they don't. Tony Katz, good to be with you. Tony Katz today. So I think I have to move where the microphone is. It's the only thing that's not right. Only it's not right. Everything else is going very, very well. Yeah, the insanity of the DNC. Absolutely nutty. Nuts. And I'm going to bring that to you. These people are broken. Find everything I do over at TonyKatz.com. If you would, I would greatly appreciate it. Yeah, I didn't grab a cigar. I apologize. Like, I'm a little off kilter here. My cigar, I mean, I'll grab one later. And usually I'm wearing my watch. I'm hoping to have for you guys an announcement coming up very, very soon about watches right there. Jerry coming in from Naples, Florida. I was just there a couple weeks ago. So, hey, what's going on? And I'll get to the Todd Young story. I promise. I may not get to it on the live stream, but I do promise I will get to the Todd Young. Very him and Elon Musk. Very, very odd. Very, very interesting. I will get to that. We're coming back to the show. I'm glad you guys are here. It's a radio show. Goes along with this. Now you know.
There have been threats against senators, Republicans, if they express opposition to some of the cabinet choices that President Trump has put forward. I've seen it called cowing tactics or grinding senators into submission, suggesting there will be reprisals if you vote against X or Y. Your view on that kind of bullying tactic?
If I were the president, I would tell my supporters, quit doing that, because everything this president wants to do depends upon Republican votes.
Some of the Republicans that you say...
Oh, stop it, Leslie Stahl. You're doing an interview with Mitch McConnell, a man who is not well. I'm going to listen to Mitch? I don't even like being angry at the guy, but there's reason to be angry at the dude. I will forever hold him in high regard for keeping Merrick Garland off the bench. But good gosh, could we not? This is gross from 60 Minutes, but also par for the course for 60 Minutes. Tony Katz today. Good to be with you. I get it. You don't like the bullying. You don't like this. You don't like that. I think people can stand up all they want. I think that the MAGA universe has to accept the fact that not everybody's going to agree with you on everything. What does it matter what you threaten? Move on. Don't worry about it at all. Now, if it gets physical, well, then that's going to be a whole nother thing now, isn't it? But I as a radio host, I don't worry about it. As an elected official, I wouldn't worry about it. If I think that this is the right way to go, it's where my constituents are at. That's it. If the MAGA universe doesn't like it, you can't worry about that. It's just the end. But interviewing Mitch McConnell in this state, I mean, it's not that Mitch McConnell hasn't done these kinds of things before when he was the Senate Majority Leader, but he was Senate Majority Leader. Now you're going to interview him because he's standing up to Trump. Just stop it already. We've seen that Liz Cheney video, and we thought it sucked the first time. So let us now get into the hilarity. Did you or did you not witness the Democrats out there having their conference to elect a new DNC chair? Oh my gosh. Let's start with a baseline of conversation. This party is broken. In every single way, broken. These people still think that Kamala Harris lost because of misogyny and racism. These people have not changed at all on the insanity of their gender ideology insanity. They have not moved a single inch from where they were. They elected as their new chair Ken Martin, who was the head of the DFL, the Democrats in Minnesota, who wants to say, we have one team, the Democratic Party. This fight is for our values. This fight is for working people. This fight right now is against Donald Trump and the billionaires who bought this country, which includes J.B. Pritzker and Mark Cuban and Oprah Winfrey. No, and George Soros. Their billionaires are good billionaires. Our billionaires are bad billionaires. Do you think that on the political right, well, I guess there might be some, we trust Zuckerberg or Musk or Bezos? What are you, crazy? I don't trust any of those people. You want to deliver, you want to do good stuff, I'll be like, that's great. Trust you? God, no. No, not in this, not at all. Not for a moment would I ever do such a thing, and you should not do it either. But you elected this guy, this Ken Martin, a guy who has called Trump a traitor. They haven't learned a thing. Now you say to me, Tony, what is it that they haven't learned? They haven't learned how to communicate with the people who they allegedly represent. They're not connected to voters. They're not connected to anything voters even remotely think about. Not at all. They are connected to a radicalness of a national playbook that did not get them any results they wanted. If you want to make this all about Trump still, you're not even looking at the future. What happens when J.D. Vance runs for president? Oh, just like Trump. It didn't work on Trump this time around. It's not going to work on J.D. Vance, but this is what you're counting on? You're not having a discussion about inflation. You're not having a discussion about jobs. You're not having a discussion about not hating the people who vote for you and calling them bigots, which is exactly what happened at the DNC. This was one of the candidates running for chair.
Hello, Democrats. Hey, I am speaking, and I would love your attention. There is a black woman at this podium, and I deserve your attention like the 11 people who went before me. Yes, I am speaking.
Good God. There's a black woman speaking. Black women. Hi, Tony Katz. How are you? What do you want me to do with that? What is that? See, that's the issue. People will look at that and be like, well, this is about black women. No, it's not. So to black women who I said hi to, first of all, hi. Secondly, it's actually not about you. That's about progressivism. That's not about anything race. That is about an ideology that is broken in two, that thinks I'm speaking, I'm a black woman, and therefore if you're not listening, it's some kind of bigotry. What's wrong with you? Now, maybe that one can be seen as acceptable. I mean, wait till you get to this one.
And we'll begin with the opening statements. Each candidate will have 30 seconds, and we'll start with Dr. Quintessa Hathaway.
Good evening, everyone. It is my desire to be the next DNC chair, and I just want to give you all a little bit of something that's been on my heart here over the last couple of days. You fight on, you fight on. You fight on, you fight on. When your government is doing you wrong, you fight on. Oh, you fight on.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Hathaway.
That was her opening statement. Nobody has an idea of how she will address urban neighborhoods versus rural neighborhoods. Nobody knows how she would take a look at where resources were deployed to try and turn out the vote. Nobody would know where she is on messaging and what connects and doesn't connect with the American voter. Nope. Just some random singing. These are unserious people. The unseriousness continued in a conversation regarding who can be elected. Now, when I say to you, I can't make this up, I would have no capacity to make this up. None. Less than none. This took place. This is Jamie Harrison, who was the chair of the DNC. He was the guy in charge, and he's reading the rules, explaining how it works, explaining how the vote has to go. But since this is the Democratic Party, and they are so outrageously and ridiculously woke at all times, the voting doesn't happen like, I don't know, a normal vote. No, you have to vote in equals. So there's 7 positions, and you have to vote for 3 men and 3 women and 1 who is non-binary. And you're like, I'm sorry, I have to do what now? You have to vote for 3 men and 3. You know what? Let me let him explain it.
Our rules specify that when we have a gender non-binary candidate or officer, the non-binary individual is counted as neither male nor female, and the remaining 6 officers must be gender balanced. With the results of the previous elections, our elected officers at this point are currently 2 male and 2 female. In order to be gender balanced, we must add 1 male, 1 female, and 1 person of any gender.
See that? Why in the world would you elect the person that you want? You have to be gender balanced. What they base, their baseline thought process is broken. You don't care if it's 6 women on there if they're the right people for the job. But they do. Oh, they do. And it gets so confusing that Jamie Harrison here has to turn it over to somebody else.
We're finding out ways to expedite this. Because of our gender balance provisions on this next ballot, you will be able to vote for 2 candidates of any gender on the next ballot. Okay? So on this next ballot, you will be able to vote for 2 candidates of any gender on the next ballot. If 2 candidates receive, I'm going to turn to Helen to clarify this last part.
No one knows the rules. How could anybody know a rule here? I swear to you, this is a Monty Python skit. You take your coat, you put it on the lower peg before turning in your note for gym class, before you have lunch, after you attend the lecture. Nobody can follow this. They make it up as they go along because no one understands what's happening, because the rules are impossible. They will turn themselves into pretzels rather than say, this is stupid, let's stop doing it. What do you say, Helen?
You are in this next ballot where you have 2 votes. As the chair has said, you may vote for 2 males, 2 females, 2 of any gender, okay? Nope, you can't do that because we've got to balance. You could vote for 1 of any gender, okay?
I swear to you, I'm pretty sure the Babylon Bee is like, how did we not think of this? Wait, they may have. I don't know. I don't want to disparage them. Lovely people. We've never met. Lovely people. My God. Now I ask you going to vote for this party? You really going to vote for these people? They don't know how to vote for their own leadership. They don't vote for their leadership based on who attracts the most people, who has the best ideas. They vote for the leadership based on filling out some kind of chart. And when they fill out the chart, who do they get? David Hogg.
Yeah. Are you ready to go on the offense? Yeah. Are you ready to go on the offense? Yeah. We have to win back our young people. I am the only candidate in this race for any of these positions that is under 30. We had a 20-point shift to the right of our young people. We must show our young people we give a damn about them, that we support them, and we invest in them. I have raised over $11 million in the past year to support the future of our party, because I don't just tweet, I don't just talk the talk, I also walk the walk and I knock the knock in doors across the country, but I'm counting on you in this moment right now. I need your support. Please.
Well, I feel inspired. Now, I think for the people he's going to try and get to vote for him, he's actually inspirational. You can have terrible grades. You can stand on the bodies of your dead classmates. But as long as you say the right things, you too can get into Harvard when clearly qualified Asian students can't. Remember when Harvard used to be important? Good times, good times. This party can't win. That said, they're dangerous as ever. I'll be discussing that in the days ahead. I'm Tony Katz. Guys, we will be right back. Glad you are here. The hell? Are you guys hearing about this?
But there's someone in our broader universe who's
Oh, God, I didn't think that was real. Oh, I will share this with you next. Good. People are strange. People are very, very, I mean, sorry, I had to get rid of David Hogg right there. Very, very strange. Glad you're here. I really do appreciate you being part of the live stream and what we're doing, what we're building. Make sure you follow on the Twittix there. On Twitter, X, we call it Twittix, and on Instagram, Tony Katz, Facebook, Tony Katz Radio, YouTube, and Rumble, Tony Katz as well. Appreciate that quite a bit. We'll be back to the radio show in just a couple of minutes. Right there, a shorter live stream today than we have on other days, but that does not mean tomorrow will be short. We may go full on. All right, let me just find what else I need here. The governor of New Jersey, I don't know, out of his mind? I mean, this is nutty. This is insane. The governor of New Jersey is like, yeah, we've got somebody illegal at our house. Best of luck getting her. What? Just an absolute unwillingness to accept the fact that they're not in charge. They refuse to see it. "30 seconds to the radio show, and we will take it from there." Let me see if I can pull this in from YouTube. There we go. There we are. Beautiful. Yep. We're coming back to the radio show. It's going to be a quick segment right here.
talking. I don't want to get into too much detail, but there's someone in our broader universe whose immigration status is not yet at the point that they are trying to get it to. And we said, you know what? Let's have her live at our house above our garage. And good luck to the feds coming in to try to get her.
That's the governor of New Jersey, Phil Murphy. I'm harboring somebody who's in the country illegally. Best of luck getting her. What is this? Why is it so glib to be saying, yes, people who break the law, we take care of them. We support them. We protect them. As far as I'm concerned, Fed should go visit Governor Murphy's house. Why would you say it? Whole thing doesn't make any sense. These people. This is Tony Katz today. Hold on. Scott's very upset. Hold on. Donald Trump has convicted felony for tax fraud and is an adjudicated rapist. Are we stuck paying Trump's rape bill? Scott, you're not okay. You're angry. You're lashing out. And all of this, by the way, not an adjudicated rapist. And that's the stuff that you get sued for what is the thing when you it's defamation. That's it. This is quite literally the thing. I see, it's just he goes on and on and on. Literally the thing that was the defamation case against George Stephanopoulos, costing ABC $16 million, which is going to get used for the Donald Trump Presidential Library. But no, keep at it. Keep losing your minds. Do you think this moves us? Do you think it moves us? convicted felon. Wait until that decision gets overturned. Adjudicated rapist. Nope. We understood what we were voting for. Understood it well. And better than Joe Biden on every level. Better than Joe Biden in every way. There is nothing you could discuss where Donald Trump isn't doing a better job in just 2 weeks. Zero. Absolutely nothing. So I get it that you're angry. I get it that you lost, and it's not fun to lose. When Barack Obama won, I was not pleased. I wasn't you. I'm normal, but I still not pleased. When Joe Biden took the White House in 2020 and won that election, I was like, oh, dear goodness. I just didn't know it would be this bad. I had absolutely no clue it would be this bad. Trump is better. Trump got elected. The majority of the country. Vast electoral college win. We're done talking. Doesn't matter what you put in a comment in my chat. Not at all. Doesn't move anything. It doesn't make any difference. What did you do? You know who's going to be president tomorrow? Trump. If something happened to the president, you know who would be president? Vance. What is your issue here? It's you not being able to control your emotions. It's you not being able to build to get a better game plan. You want to scream rapist and felon. America said, make the price of things lower, stop the drugs, and keep the country safe. Now, cost of things is going to take a while to go down. Sucks. Certainly tariffs don't help that. Trump has to explain it, just like I said. But if you now have 10,000 troops, Mexican troops that are going to be put on the border to stop the flow of fentanyl and the flow of illegal immigrants, a lot of Americans are going to be very, very happy with that. Very happy with that. So be angry all you want, Scott. Be angry all you want. Here's Claude. He just called you all morons. I think that's rude. It's okay. We're fine. We're doing great. And we're just going to keep on keeping on, if that's all right with you. Glad you guys are here. Sorry, it's a quick live stream today. I got to get back to the radio show. It's just the way it worked out. I'll be back tomorrow. So tune in then at noon Eastern time. I know. It's appointment viewing online. Just madness. But yet, here we are. Appreciate you guys quite a bit. And I will catch you tomorrow. Don't forget to follow me in all the places. I'd appreciate it. Take care, guys.